and I'm Palestinian American Christian. And I'm very proud of this country and for what this country stands for and for the great opportunity that I was given as a Palestinian. This is my new homeland. America gave me education, work, and then later I got married. I met the woman of my dreams here, who, you know, my wife comes from Gaza, and we met here in the States. We started a family. We pursued the American dream, and I'm so grateful and so thankful. But I'm here because I feel that the little town of Beit Sahur is really under imminent danger that if nothing happens, if we don't do anything about it, there will be no more Christians living in Beit Sahur today. So it's a Christian majority town, and it's known for the shepherd's fields. In Luke chapter 2, when the angel of the Lord appeared to the shepherds who were tending to their flocks, the angel appeared to them and pronounced the greatest event that ever happened in history, which is the birth of the Messiah in next door town, little town.
So it says they were right outside town, and that's where they were.
Absolutely. So this happened in Beit Sahur, and if you go to Beit Sahur today, the shepherd field is there, the people are there, and the angel appeared also with a chorus of angelic hosts singing, glory to God in the highest, peace on earth and great joy to great man. Now, the significance of Beit Sahur is that God chose this little town, the town of the shepherds, to announce the birth of Jesus. God didn't choose the spiritual elites and the religious institutions in Jerusalem,
right?
And he did not choose the powerful politicians and military in Rome, but he chose to announce the birth of a savior in a town called Beit Sahur. And when the shepherds went to Bethlehem, they saw baby Jesus, they came back rejoicing, and they were the first evangelists that told the world about the birth of Jesus. God with us. It was in those fields where they were tending their flocks. They were poor, they were marginalized, they were ordinary men and women who just happened to be there, and God chose them to be there. So Beit Sahur takes pride, and it's not that we are privileged and better than anybody else, but that's the essence of the Christmas story, that God gives hope to the people in the margins first. God's grace reaches those people first, and the town of Beit Sahur takes very pride of this heritage this legacy.
How long has it been majority Christian?
It's been always majority Christian.
So for like thousands of years?
Since the time of Jesus. The town of Beit Sahur is the early descendants of the first Christmas story. And they have maintained uninterrupted, continuous presence since the day of the announcement of the birth of Jesus.
That's amazing. How long has your family been there?
Generations. We always joke around like we go back thousands of years. Unfortunately, we don't have a family tree that could trace back to the time of Jesus. But the people have always lived there. The people have always farmed their lands.
So you're not a new convert to Christianity?
We're not newcomers. We don't come from neighboring countries. We're not converts. We're not newcomers. We're not immigrants. We're an indigenous people of the land.
Christian people.
Christian Palestinians have a unique story to tell.
What's interesting is that over that 2,000-year period, a lot has happened. A lot of different people have ruled that area. Of course, originally the Romans.
Yes.
2,000 years ago was the Romans, and then of course the move up from Arabia, Islam starts, and then you have the Crusades kind of flip it over, and then you have it flip back, and it becomes the Ottomans, and then Muslims run out of Istanbul, Constantinople, Turks, and then you have the Brits, and now you have the Israelis. So during all that time, that village remained Christian, but you're saying now, under Israeli rule, because it is ruled by the Israelis, correct?
Yes.
It's in danger of becoming extinct.
I call Palestinian Christians empire survivors.
Yeah.
We have survived empires, armies came and left, rulers came and left.
A lot of them.
Identity changed, language changed, culture has been shaped by those empires, but the people have always remained there. The church has always been open to worship has always maintained a gospel witness. And this is my deepest concern, that if nothing is happened, if we don't do anything about it, there will be no more Christians in the Holy Land.
So they remain there from, 33 AD until 1967. And then in 1967, when this area is annexed by the government,
Yes.
the real threat begins. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Israel has pursued one strategy, Tucker, over decades, which is take as much Palestinian land as possible and keep as few Palestinians on the land as possible. This has been their strategy. It has worked for them because they're constantly taking Palestinian land within, we're talking about not proper Israel, but we're talking about 1967 when they captured West Bank, East Jerusalem, and in Gaza. They have been taking land. They have been building settlements there. And this is threatening the local population, especially it comes at a heavy price. So that has been the policy for decades, and it has worked for them because it's almost near completion now. They're taking, if you look at Bethlehem, the governorate of Bethlehem, the district of Bethlehem, it is surrounded by Israeli settlements. And it's actually, if you look it up, the Bethlehem Ring, it's actually a thing. It's a ring of settlements all encircling every town, every Palestinian village, and they choose these specific lands strategically on hilltops, taking water resources, building walls around these settlements, building new roadblocks, building new checkpoints, building new security measures, they call it, motion sensors, electric barbed wires. And it comes at a really deep expense, at the expense of the local population.
So you grew up there?
Yes, I grew up in the town of Beit Sahur.
What was that like? What was your experience of the Israeli government growing up as a Christian there?
Well, I lived through the first Intifada, and we lived next to the YMCA in Beit Sahur. There's actually a YMCA in Beit Sahur. And down the road from us, there was an Israeli bypass road only.
What does that mean?
It means whenever they build settlements, they build those roads that are only accessible to settlers, which these roads connect the entire settlements together, and they are directly connected to proper Israel, so they can easy of movement for the settlers to go.
What do you mean for settlers? You mean you're not allowed on them?
No, absolutely not. Some roads in area B of the West Bank, Palestinians are allowed on them, like between the roads of between Bethlehem and Hebron, or Bethlehem and Jericho. There are some few very limited roads that you can't. I mean, what are you going to do? We have to share the roads, but in many of these roads, Palestinians are not allowed to.
You're not allowed?
No.
Like as someone who's born there?
Absolutely not. But that road down the street from us, we would see settlers come and go. We would see Israeli army vehicles come and go. And one day we were playing outside.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is kind of, I mean, I've been there, but it's hard. I didn't fully digest this, I guess, at the time. So how about right now? You're an American. You live in the United States. You've been here a long time.
Yes.
Could you go and get on one of those roads?
Let me explain it this way. Imagine you are in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then a group of people from Mexico come to San Diego and take a piece of property.
Yes.
And they build fence around it. And then all of a sudden they plant a Mexican flag on that. You know, not to say that I love Mexicans, but this is hypothetical.
I get it, but it's a country too.
Yeah. So for the sake of this analogy, imagine they come and they build fence around this property, and now it cuts your property in half, and sometimes it slices it up. So San Diego becomes fragmented, and they set up this fence around it. They take the water resources, they build walls, sniper towers, and all of a sudden you see the Mexican army coming to protect those new settlers. And those settlers are not friendly neighbors. They're not coming to San Diego to be neighbors. They're coming to take the land from San Diego. And now, if you are a mother, a Christian mother who puts her children in Christian school, and your school now is behind those new roads that these Mexican settlers built. They built a new road that connects San Diego to Tijuana across the border. And you are a mother who wants to drop off her kids to a school that is beyond those bypass road only. And this is not theoretical for us. This is reality. When you go to Beit Sahur, you will see the settlements encircling the little town, choking it. It's like slow suffocation. It prevents it from its natural growth. That story that I told you about the mother is actually my cousin, who takes her children, she has twins and she has a 6-year-old, to the American Evangelical School built in Beit Sahur. And with this new settlement they have built, they have set up a roadblock, a checkpoint, where Israeli come and man those checkpoints to protect the settlers. Now, one day she was taking her children to school, and the Israeli army pointed guns at them,
Oh, come on.
instructing them to let the kids walk across the checkpoint to make it to the school to the other side. Now, this is not an isolated incident. This is not something that happens every once in a while. The army is always present to protect the settlers. So my cousin told her 6-year-old, "You're strong. You can do this. And we can walk through it. The teacher on the other side is going to receive you." As soon as she walked, she held her head up high. She passed through the soldier and she fainted at the feet of the school staff. Now, this brings a lot of psychological trauma. It brings a lot of nightmares. That's what Christian families in Beit Sahur are experiencing. Now, I remember I told you about this, our home back in Beit Sahur. It's not too far from the school. It's not too far from the new settlement they are building in Beit Sahur. And down the road is the Israeli bypass road, which is only for settlers and Israeli armed vehicles. In 1990, we watched settlers come and go. There was an Israeli army vehicle that stopped. And I was 10 at that time. I saw an Israeli soldier stepping out of the vehicle, pointing a rifle at us, and he started shooting at us.
Are you?
We were a bunch of kids. I mean, my siblings, my mother was there, and some of my cousins. He started shooting live ammunition at us. And then my mother rushed us all into the door. She was the last one to get in. She caught a bullet in the back.
Your mother?
Yes, my own mother, who loves the Lord and she loves Jesus. And exit one, she dropped.
Come on.
She dropped on the floor, pool of blood. I heard to the back door, called my dad, my uncle who was a physician, put pressure on the wound, took her to the hospital, saved her.
You saw this happen?
This in front of my eyes. My own mother.
I'm sorry, I should say we've been talking off camera before we started this interview, and I didn't know the story. It's not in my interview notes, and I detected no bitterness whatsoever in anything that you said. I don't know how.
Okay.
Sorry, so you're just shocking me? I didn't expect to hear that.
Palestinian Christians take the Sermon of the Mount very seriously.
Apparently.
When Jesus comes and he elevates our thinking, when he elevates our outlook on life, when he takes morality to a whole new standard, when he said, "You have heard, do not kill." But I tell you, if you look at your brother and you call him raka, Aramaic word for fool or stupid,
That's right.
you just have committed the murder.
Exactly.
And when he said, and remember the context, Jesus was talking to a Jewish audience who were under ruthless Roman occupation.
Yes.
They were persecuted. They were discriminated against. It was very brutal to live under the Roman occupation. But Jesus is telling his followers, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. This is something that we have grown up understanding the very essence and the meaning of this Sermon of the Mount.
Wow. I'm sorry. I've totally derailed your story because I'm just shocked. I really didn't know that was coming. So you're 10 years old. You watch your mother get shot by an... Okay, so many questions. Why did he do this? Do you know?
This has been just random. They do this not just to Palestinian Christians. I mean, that has been the policy. They do it to the Muslims. They do it to any Palestinians.
Did she survive?
She did. Miraculous. The bullet was just millimeters away from the spine.
It was an American rifle, I assume.
Who knows?
Of course.
We don't know the soldier.
5.56 round, right? Okay, so that's my next question. So some soldier, your mother wasn't throwing rocks at him or screaming for jihad or anything.
We were just playing in front of the house. We were just kids playing.
How can you live in this country and listen to people who have no idea what they're talking about?
So this is the real threat of the new settlements. Okay, it's not just taking Christian land. It's not acquiring and taking by force the resources of the land, of Christian land, who lived there for generations. It's inviting violent settlers to your neighborhood. They're coming to take the land. They're coming to squeeze. They're coming to crush. They're coming.
Why are they mad at you? What did you do?
Being born in the...
I don't understand the hate, and I certainly have been the target of it, but I don't understand. I mean, I understand why people don't like me. I'm doing interviews like this, but I don't understand why would someone shoot a mother in front of her children? Like, I just don't get that. Like, what is that?
You interviewed Bishop Hussam, and he mentioned the recent story just last month.
Yes.
The attack on a Christian widow. She's a Christian widow. That a violent settler came to her property, grazing on the land with his cattle, and then he hits her with a stone on her head, fractures her skull, takes her to, she almost lost her life. And when her son tried to defend her, the son gets arrested by the Israeli military. And then when the bunch of settlers, they showed up at the house in the presence and the full support and the complicity of the Israeli army, they knocked down the door. Her daughter was inside, Nariman, and I talked to her. She drew the sign of her cross. And when they found out that she was Christian, you know what the settler told her?
What?
He told her, "What are you doing here? This is not your land. You don't belong here." He said, "Go to France or go somewhere else. You don't belong here. God gave us this land." Now, this settler violence that has been on the rise, the town of Taipei, where they burned centuries-old church, they burned the crops, vandalized properties, write graffitis, spitting on clergy and pastors and leaders. All of these atrocities are done in broad daylight. They're done without accountability, and no one is being held responsible for these atrocities.